If you have the kind of plan that everything's paid for, then what that does is it is a big old blinking green light to do as many tests and procedures, regardless of if they're duplicative, get as much durable equipment, regardless of whether you need it. That's what's driving the inflation of healthcare right now. If all of a sudden you have skin in the game and you get free prevention and you have the ability to transparently see what things cost, which is another thing we're doing in this bill. You know where every cup holder is in a car you buy. You have no idea what you're paying for procedures at the doctor. We're going to make sure you do know what you're paying. You're going to have information about which hospitals have the best records, which doctors have the best outcomes. So you can shop for your health care, and you are in control. And we have not done a government takeover, and we've not done a government plan.
Today, the news is that you are going to be, after you hang up the phone, your office is going to put together a news release that's going to say that Senator Claire McCaskill is demanding that there be a conference committee so that the public can see what's going on no longer behind closed doors. And because that's the key, because most of us can...
Is there something happening here that you think that you don't know about?
Oh, well, why would I be suspicious? I mean, honestly.
It's all behind closed doors. What do we know?
No, I'm not talking about what we're going to vote on in the final. In the final analysis. I think the jury's out whether or not everybody in America is going to know exactly what happened and why and what's in it. But really, honestly, Jamie, I have never seen the kind of openness in terms of hearings, in terms of the bills being online. We've never had bills online.
But you're still
the House version was, the Senate version was not.
All that's fine, but you're still going to have that news release.
I'm going to say that I think there should be a conference committee. I don't think I'm going to let you dictate it to me.
Well, no, you don't have to.
You would understand.
No, I understand that. I will, but maybe I can just make suggestions, and you can just say that's one of the reasons why. Obviously, the public is suspicious of this because the polls are showing that they are.
Oh my goodness!
And there's no bipartisan support. So, in an effort to make sure that we have bipartisan support and we have a confident public, Senator Claire McCaskill today demanding a conference committee.
I don't think I'm going to demand anything, but I will absolutely weigh in that
Stand
I think
up for Missouri, please.
A good idea to have a conference committee. Now, can I ask a favor of you guys?
Yes.
No.
I can't?
I tell you what, if you work to get out the penalizing the people for not purchasing insurance through the exchange, and if you work to get Missouri to be able to opt out of this, then yes, I will do you a favor.
Let's find out what the favor is first.
Well, I just think that it's hard for me to, honestly, I mean, you know I'm pretty candid, and I'll be honest with you, I will make it a point to try to come on your show more often, but when one of you is actually publicly saying that they have a goal of bringing down Claire McCaskill, it turns it more into a political thing than I'm really comfortable with.
Well, Senator,
what are you talking about, Dana?
Yeah.
Well, Senator, it's because we've gone to your office so many times, and
we've
the majority of Missourians don't support this, and the constituents haven't heard back from you.
Yeah, you shouldn't have signed on to that Facebook group, girl. I told you.
I didn't sign on a Facebook group. I went to our office.
And we talked to you at the office. I think we.
Oh yeah, your staff. And I will say your staff was absolutely wonderful, and I think Russ Carnahan needs to take a lot of pointers from your staff. They were very nice.
But if we can try not to get into a position where it's us versus them, there's many things that you guys and I will disagree on, but there's a lot of stuff we agree on.
Well, this stuff about penalizing, I mean, I'm the wife of a small business owner, and this stuff affects me so, and as much as it does a lot of people. I mean, this just cuts to the quick. This is a huge issue.
How many employees does your husband have?
He has 5 employees.
Well, beginning January, if he wants to buy health insurance for his employees, he'll get 35% tax cut.
But that's but we don't
of his insurance.
We don't want to burden our fellow American citizens, and we don't want to be fined.
Well, do you guys take a tax cut when you buy a mortgage? Do you take the interest deduction?
Well, the thing is, we don't want to be fined, and we don't want to burden all of these other people with paying for health care. That's the thing. Well, and the majority doesn't support this legislation.
And while we're asking for favors,
tell me now you don't like tax cuts. I thought that was one of the things that was the pillar of the political philosophy.
At whose expense, though? I mean, that's the thing. And plus, I just can't understand why you would vote for something that actually penalizes people to buy into it.
Well, the bottom line is, I think that the very, very, very few people, the goal here is people want to buy insurance, Dana.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
But they can't afford it. So the goal here is to make sure that I have never met anyone who said, you know, I really don't want insurance, what I meet all the time. And when people write me and call me, and believe me, there are thousands of them that say, please do something so I can get insurance. It's not fair that I can't get insurance because I was sick 10 years ago.
All right, while we're asking for favors, because we haven't asked you for a favor yet.
I think you have. You've been dictating press releases all morning.
That's not a favor. That's responsible. That's responsible governing.
Yes,
that's
sir.
not a favor.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
for you to go out there and demand a conference committee, that's just being responsible. That's not a favor. The favor would be you voting no on this bill and demanding that you go back to the drawing board and get a bill that the public wants.
Well, you know, here's the bottom line, Jamie. This is really hard. And there was a reason that nothing's been done in 40 years. There's a reason that there was not even an effort made to do this, other than just a huge government entitlement program. You know, my predecessor in the Republican Congress, you know, when you think about what they did in context of this bill, they did a bill that is half as expensive as what we're talking about doing, and just put it on the credit card. Medicare D, and by the way, with tens of billions of dollars going to the pharmaceutical companies on the credit card. No attempt to pay for it whatsoever. You know, I got to tell you that it is hard to get this done. And this notion that all the work that's been done, that getting the public options no longer in there, there is ability to buy across state lines through state exchanges and cooperative basis. We've got the free market principles. We've got transparency. We've got no more pre-existing conditions. There are so many great things in this bill. I truly believe in my heart that this bill is a good thing for Missouri.
Well, you're sacrificing too much.
Well, I disagree.
And the fact of the matter is, even on its face, the way the bill has been developed, and I think the Nebraska case is a perfect example, it hasn't been developed on principle.
That's just not true.
It's been developed on backdoor shell game deals.
That's just not true.
Well, Senator,
we spent 3 months negotiating with Republicans, and then all of a sudden it became very political when one of the negotiators went back to Iowa and said that we were doing death panels, which was just a flat lie.
I have a quick question for you, Senator. Would you go on this? Would you go on this plan, this health care plan?
We're required to. That's another bit of misinformation. Now, you know, I'm so tired of people putting out lies about this.
Well, you're required to in the Senate bill or the House bill?
No, we are required in the bill I voted for that every member of Congress and their personal staff must buy insurance on the exchange. Mm-hmm. We have no choice. We're required to, and believe me, that will be in the final bill.
That will last through the meeting between Pelosi, Reid, and the White House.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll be good news to find out.
And why is it that everybody thinks we don't? I don't understand where that comes from.
All right, I can't wait to see the news release today because I think it's going to have an impact. I mean, honestly, I do, because I think for you, because let's face it, you're kind of the rock star among the talk TV circuit.
I'm no rock star. I just sometimes am willing to speak out and say things differently than many others.
Well, I don't know, because I have to tell you, though, a lot of times when I hear you, you're not really speaking out. You're speaking for the Obama administration.
I'm speaking what I believe.
Well, I know, but you don't believe this. Right now, you don't believe there should not be a conference committee.
I agree. There should be a conference committee.
So there should be a conference committee.
I'm going to put out a statement today that says there should be a conference committee.
A statement. But I mean, is the statement only going to say there should be you should say that Senator Reid is wrong, and that it's wrong to pirate and commandeer this healthcare bill and put it behind closed doors.
I'm going to have to put you on staff, Jamie, and think about what kind of meetings we'd have at that point.
Well, honestly, I'm encouraged by that.
You're making, and I'm happy to put out a public statement today that I think there should be a conference committee.
Otherwise, I'm voting no.
I'm not going to say that otherwise I'm voting no. I'm not going to threaten a no vote when, in principle, I believe this bill is a positive thing, and in time, I'm going to get you to agree.
Otherwise, I might vote no. Say that.
Listen,
say might.
I don't know how I'll say it.
You guys choose your words carefully.
That's my opinion. I think there should be a conference committee.
And also, by the way, then, what I've learned is that we're going to start doing a morning with Claire every week. Mornings with Senator McCaskill.
There's no way I can do it every week, Jamie.
Well, how about every other week?
Here's what we'll do. My New Year's resolution is we will keep a calendar. And there are about a half a dozen to a dozen shows across the state that are local talk shows. And I